Fair use and content disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily reflect that of the Psychological Association of the Philippines and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions expressed by the guests do not necessarily reflect that of the host, the show, and the organization. Fair use is the copyright regulation that allows the limited use of copyrighted materials without acquiring permission from the right holders for comment and educational purposes. Views, articles, and images on this episode may contain copyrighted material which has not always been specifically authorized by the copyright owner.
This is being broadcasted to the Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group's social media platforms, when available. If you have any questions for our guests, simply comment on this video and we will try to accommodate all your inquiries. Note that after this broadcast, we may no longer be able to answer your questions. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Live from the Philippines, Dr. Ver Reyes and Professor Monique Muyargas, Chairperson and Co-Chairperson of the Teaching Psychology SIG.
Hi, Monique.
Hello, Dr. Ver.
Kamusta ka na? Na-miss ko to.
I know, right? So
It has been-
nostalgic.
It has been a year, no, since we gone live on Facebook and on YouTube. But we're very, very happy to have everyone. Sorry, hindi ako masyadong oily. Tsaka parang ang laki na ng noo ko since last year.
Oo.
All right. So right now, we are being streamed both on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. There are 380 participants right now and 229 nanggagaling sa Facebook page. Ayan.
Wow. Yes.
So maraming salamat everybody for coming over for joining us this afternoon. I know that it has been a fruitful PAP convention to say the least. No, marami tayong mga guests for this afternoon. So tignan natin yung iba, sila Marnil, sabi niya good day, watching from YouTube from GMA Cavite. Ayun. Meron din tayo galing from Antipolo, no?
Hello.
Ayan. At meron din tayo na nanggagaling from Negros Occidental. Alam mo, parang namimiss ko yung mga kapamilya natin from our TFC subscribers.
I know, right?
Sumasali from Dubai or from
Hong Kong, di ba?
Ayan.
So,
meron din tayo from
vegan.
Ilocos.
Hello to our dear teachers. Meron din tayong from other schools, even graduate programs. And that's great, no? Because this is a very important venue for us to talk about a very pressing issue that concerns our field. And don't hesitate to key in your questions later after the presentation of our esteemed guest. And we will interact as such, no? Don't worry, we are noting all your questions. We're following you closely. We're stalking you.
We're stalking them. We're stalking them talaga. Correct. Now, may nag-comment blurry daw siya. Alam mo, you should change na your internet service provider. Hindi kami yung may kasalanan. So anyway, meron tayong certain delay na mga 10 seconds whenever we do our streaming. So we hope that you would be able to we're living in the future, ganyan. Yung tipong nauna lang kami for about 10 seconds. But lahat naman magkakaroon talaga ng pagkakataon to ask your question. So you're probably you're seeing us in other pages, but please go to the Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group and comment or on that video so that we can also flash that. Ayan. So pakilala na natin ang ating mga special guests for this afternoon. Neat.
So sana ho hindi kayo naligaw because our PAP post-convention town hall session, thank you PAP for tapping us to host this post-convention town hall. We are going to be talking about updates on the forthcoming CHED policies, standards, and guidelines for graduate programs in psychology. And we have great, wonderful people with us this afternoon. To start off, we have from members of the CHED Technical Panel for Psychology, no? Dr. Aurora Odette Mampichi Mendoza, who's from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. We have Dr. Maria Caridad Karing Taroja from the La Salle University, and we have Dr. Miriam Pique, and the person who will present, no, and thoroughly discuss about the CHED CMO would be Dr. Maria Claudette Alvarez Agnes. Good afternoon, everyone. Unmute.
Okay, sorry. Ayan. Hi, Doc Karin.
Hello, Bear and Monique. Thank you to the to the Teaching Psychology SIG division for hosting this, and I'd like to say pleasant good afternoon to all those watching your YouTube and your Facebook. Okay, so
Global po tayo, global.
yeah, so
Global.
thank you. So again, this is an opportunity for the CHED Technical Committee to present what has been going on.
Ayan. Having said that, we are now putting in si Dr. Claudette, who is the chairperson of the CHED Technical Panel. Maraming salamat, Doc Claudette, for joining us this afternoon.
Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Magandang hapon, Ver, Monique, Karing, miss ko na kayo, no? It's been more than a year that we didn't see each other. So, salamat, PAP and SIG Teaching Division for hosting this activity.
Maraming salamat. Sinasamahan din tayo ni Miss Pat at ni Sir Junix. Later on, ipapakalala natin sila. So, without further ado, I would excuse myself at saka si Doc Karing. Later na tayo magkikita para sa ating question and answer. So, maraming salamat while I set up yung ating presentation ni Doc Claudette.
Okay. We would like to remind those who are watching us on our live stream, we are going to entertain questions after we are going to completely understand, no, from the discussion and the presentation of Dr. Claudette regarding this CHED memo, no, and provisions. So take it away, Dr. Claudette.
Magandang hapon ulit sa inyong lahat. I'm Maria Claudette Alvarez Agnes, the chair of the Technical Panel for Psychology Program. We're here to discuss the updates, no, for the forthcoming CHED policies, standards, and guidelines for graduate programs in the Philippines. And we have the objectives. Number one, we're here to give you a brief background, no, of the relevant CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019, the proposed version of the graduate programs in psychology, and also the CHED CMO number 39 series of 2010. And we're going to present here the comparison of the proposed 2017 version and the CHED CMO number 15. And of course, we're here to get your feedback from HEIs with psychology programs. And also, we're going to present the issues of equivalency related to the implementation of the CHED CMO number 34 series of 2017. Then we have the CHED CMO number 39 series of 2010, and also the PRC guidelines as prescribed by RA 129. To start with, I think everyone is familiar with CHED CMO number 15, series of 2019. We call this one as the policies, standards, and guidelines for graduate programs in the Philippines. And with this, no, it's already in the implementation, and we have to follow and abide the policies of CHED regarding the implementation of the graduate programs in the Philippines. This is across programs. And next, please. And the existing program, CHED CMO number 39, series of 2010. This is the policies and standards for graduate programs in psychology. This is what we are using at the moment, no? Imagine from 2010 pa po, we were not yet included in the technical committee, but this is the existing one that we're using for masters and the doctoral programs in psychology. And also we have the proposed, no, I think I have to inform everyone that as early as 2014, we were working already on the CHED CMO number 34. It's the policies and standards and guidelines for the undergraduate programs in the Philippines, which was implemented on sometime November of 2017. And while we were working on the CHED CMO number 34 for the undergraduate program in the Philippines, we were as well working for the policies, standards, and guidelines for the graduate programs in the Philippines. And that is now our proposed CHED CMO in 2017. However, to give you a little background on this was not yet implemented because for whatever reasons, no, we were just asked to wait for the policies, standards, and guidelines across programs. And it is now the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. Our proposed psychology policy standards guidelines in 2017 were based on the following. Number one, we have the RA 129. I think everyone is familiar with this. We call this one as the psychology law in the Philippines. And another one, the basis of this is the International Declaration on Core Competencies in Professional Psychology in July 2016. And the third one is the ASEAN Regional Union of Psychology Society, the ARUPS, no? The task force meetings that we have attended in Indonesia, we have attended in Singapore, we have attended here in the Philippines, and in Malaysia, no? And the last one is, of course, the other requirements of in preparing the policies, standards, and guidelines for our program. And I'm going to present to you now the comparison of our proposed CMO in 2017 and the CHED CMO number 15, which is across programs. I would like to remind everyone that the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019, it's already in implementation, no? And this one, it's across graduate programs. And the proposed one and the CHED CMO number 15, both are for graduate programs. And our proposed 2017 version is very specific to the graduate psychology program only, no? And as I've told you, we have the CHED CMO number 15. This one is across programs. And here, as we are going to discuss the proposed program, the last meeting that we had for this proposed program, wherein we submitted it to CHED, and it was endorsed by the members of the technical committee with our signatures. It was March 23, 2017. However, it was not anymore implemented or discussed because we were asked to wait for this policy standards for the across programs, graduate programs. And here for the CHED CMO number 15 and the proposed CMO, we have the authority to operate, no? And we can operate master's program and PhD program once we have the qualifications to we have the requirements to be met by the school or the HEI, no? And remember that for you to open a master's program, you should have at least a local accreditation of level 3. And that is what our proposed and also what is stated in the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. Parehas lang, no? And next to that as well is the eligibility, no, of the institution or the university or the local college or the school to come up with the masters or to have the masters and the PhD program is this one. This is in accordance with the CHED requirements, wherein you can find it actually under the CHED CMO number 15. This is already published, no, in CHED. And we have to follow as well with the requirements coming from CHED. And another thing is we have also the program outcomes. I think you're familiar with the OBE, no? It was implemented sometime in 2010 that all schools, universities, colleges must adopt the outcomes-based program. And indeed, in CHED CMO number 15, we have also the program outcomes, no? And with our proposed CHED CMO, we have also the outcomes, but this is very specific to the graduates of Masters in Psychology, which is the professional track, and graduates of Master of Arts in Psychology, which is the academic track, no? In the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019, it's very general, no, because this is across programs. No? And also we have here for the doctoral level. For the doctoral level, same process, no? We have to come up with the outcomes for the proposed and also in the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. The only difference here is that our proposal is very contextualized and very specific to our program in psychology. And another thing that we have to take note of are the performance indicators. No? If we're talking of the performance indicators, the CHED CMO, it's again across all programs. But here, in our proposed CHED CMO, it's very specific that we should pass the licensure examinations for psychologists, and we should have a certification as specialists, and also the employability, no, of the graduates in relation to our profession. No? It's very specific. And again, for the doctoral program, no, we have in the CHED CMO, they have the performance indicators for CHED CMO number 15, while the proposed CMO for psychology program is very specific. And again, I have here to discuss with you the types of graduates program, no? The types of graduate programs in relation with the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. In CMO number 15, we have types of graduate programs. We have the master's programs in the sciences and in the arts. And we have also the master's programs by tracks. And under this one, we have the academic track and by research track. And also we have the non-thesis track. While here in the proposed CHED CMO, what we stated is the Masters in Psychology. We call it MP. This is the professional track or the non-thesis track. And we have the Master of Arts in Psychology, which is the MA in Psychology, and this is the academic track with thesis. We have also the Doctor of Psychology, the DP, which is the professional track. And we have the PhD in Psychology, which is the Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology, wherein we call it as the academic track. And here we have other types of master's programs, no? As stated by CHED CMO number 15. We have the straight bachelor's master's program. In other schools, they call it the 4+1. 4 years or 3.5 years with your undergraduate program, and the 1.5 years is for the master's program, no? And we have also the dual Doctor of Medicine master's degree program, no? That is under the CHED CMO number 15. And we have the dual master's degree program, no? Dalawang master's program, for example, Master of Arts major in psychology and guidance and counseling. But in our case, we didn't do that, no? Because we have to be very specific with our programs in psychology. And we have to consider here also the international impact for our graduates, as well as the requirements of PRC in relation with the licensure examination and also with the psychology law in the Philippines. That's why the types of master's degree programs in our proposed CMO is only the master's in psychology and Master of Arts in Psychology. The other one, the MP, this is again the professional track, and the Master of Arts in Psychology is the academic track. And for the doctoral programs, it has types, no? Again, in the CHED CMO number 15, Doctor of Philosophy, we have 2 tracks here, sub-tracks, academic and by research track. Then we have the doctoral degree professional track, and the other types of doctoral degrees. They have the straight master's doctoral program, and then we have the dual doctoral degrees program that is under the CHED CMO number 15. But in our psychology area, in the psychology program, what we proposed, it's only the Doctor of Psychology, the DP, which is the professional track, and the Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology, which is now the academic track. And I have here the matrix, for the proposed, for the graduate program under CMO number 15. By the way, I have to I have to copy this one from the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019 to present it to you, no? Because I don't want to miss some contents under the CHED CMO number 15. For those who are in the academe, especially the chairs, the deans, I think you're familiar with this already, no? Because we are asked now to revise our curriculum. And here we have Master of Arts academic track. Your bachelor's degree, also we have to have the maximum requirements for the bachelor's degree. In our case, no, for example, in psychology, it should be also BS or AB psychology. And if in case you are not a graduate of AB or BS psychology, then you have to take the bridging or the foundation courses. No? But here in the here in CMO number 15, because this is across programs, they just stated here bachelor's degree, and with at least 24 units of coursework, no, and 6 units of thesis, meaning you have to defend your paper, and also you have to pass the comprehensive examinations with your thesis and at least one publication. No? Kaya for those who are still studying, bilis-bilisan nyo na po para hindi kayo masyadong maabutan, because by next year, it will really be implemented, no? Kasi meron ng publication, and we all know that to publish, at least you have 1 year, no? Kasi babalik pa yan sa atin, magre-revise pa tayo. So this is under the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. And also, we have the Master of Arts by Research, no? Again, the minimum requirements, bachelor's degree, and the coursework here is it's at least 35 courses, no? And another one, all units to be taken is by research, no coursework, no? By research. So ito by publication, you have to pass again the comprehensive examinations and at least one publication, no? In a refereed journal or again juried creative work outlet, no? Yun po. So I hope the others are listening, because we are already revising and doing curriculum review in terms of our programs. And the other one is the Master of Science academic track, bachelor's degree, of course, with at least 24 units of coursework and at least 6 units of thesis. Again, you have to pass your comprehensive examinations, you have your thesis, and at least one publication. Now, again, Master of Science. Kasi yung isa Master of Arts, this time Master of Science na, no? Bachelor's degree with at least 35 coursework units. And again, one publication, but you have to pass the comprehensive examination. And also here, we have the master's degree professional track. Okay, of course, your bachelor's degree is important, and you have at least 30 units of coursework and 3 units of capstone research. And here, the major requirement, capstone project, and you need to pass the comprehensive examinations. This is the non-thesis track, but you have to have your capstone project. Then next to that, we have the straight bachelor's master's program. This is exceptional, no, performance in secondary education, and at least a maximum of 5 years of study period, minimum of 20% of the common coursework, no? Again, this is a with master's thesis here. You have to pass the comprehensive examinations, and you must have here what? Publication. Another one is the dual doctoral program of medicine, no? Hindi na natin yan muna i-discuss kasi sa medicine naman yan. But we have the dual master's program. Again, bachelor's degree, maximum of the number of units or years to be taken, and you have the 20% of the common coursework, no? Why common? Because probably the prerequisite, the core courses are the same, no? But you have to pass the comprehensive examinations, and you have your master's thesis. You have to defend your master's thesis, and also you should have a publication. And here, or you can have also the capstone project according to this CMO number 15. And another one, no, the Doctor of Philosophy academic track. Of course, you should have a master's degree muna, no? And at least 24 units of coursework units, and 12 units of dissertation. So you have to pass the comprehensive examinations. This is by what? Again, by dissertation, and you have to defend publicly your paper with the theory building. Now, you should have publications as well. No? Parehas din, may publication. Medyo mas madami lang ito, no? And we have the Doctor of Philosophy by Research, no? Of course, you should have a master's program, and before you will qualify for this, you should have publications in your master's degree program. And you should have at least 72% of your paper, no? A total units focused on research, on dissertation work. All units to be taken is by research, no coursework. And here you have to what? You have to take the comprehensive exams and defend publicly also your dissertation, and there should be a publication, whether it is an international or a national, but it should be properly indexed, no? Or juried creative work outlet. And also here, we have to take note that you have also your the professional track. Your professional track, of course, you should have your master's degree, 5 years of professional work muna. Work experience is really very important because this is by professional track, with at least 24 units of coursework and at least 12 units of practice-based dissertation. Then you have to defend your comprehensive, you have to pass the comprehensive examinations and defend publicly your practice-based dissertation, and also the practice-based research, no? That is the professional track. Look at this, practice-based research and publicly defended practice-based dissertation, no? And we have the master's doctoral program as determined here by the HEI, no? Maximum number of units years to be determined by HEI, and maximum of 20% of common coursework, no? Kasi sharing sila. And comprehensive examinations as well, and leading to PhD, no? Publicly defended dissertation, and a publication that is specifically evidenced of acceptance to an international or national refereed journal, no? And also we have here the double doctoral degree program. This is again determined by the HEIs, no? Maximum number of units should be determined by the university or the college, and also maximum of 20% of common work coursework. And you have to have comprehensive examinations, and your 2 PhDs publicly defended dissertation is really very important, and it should be published, no, in a refereed journal. For 1 PhD and 1 professional doctoral degree, a publicly defended dissertation and the publication is also taken into consideration here. That's why you should have as well your practice-based research and publicly defended practice-based dissertation. No? And also another one. Now, in terms of our proposed CHED CMO for psychology program, graduate program in psychology. No? We have the prerequisite courses, especially for those whose bachelor or undergraduate degree is not in psychology. And we have the core courses, we have the methods courses, we have the majors, elective, the thesis or dissertation, comprehensive examination, practicum, or internship. And also here, we have the curriculum outline here. I'm going to present to you the curriculum outline, no? For MP, again, what is MP? Masters in Psychology. This is the professional track. And Master of Arts in Psychology, the academic track. Assuming that your undergraduate program is not in psychology, you have to take what? You have to take the bridging or the foundation courses. And we already identified here the courses that you need to take. No? It's here already, so that colleges, universities, schools, departments won't have difficulties in identifying what are those subjects or courses that we need to offer. Remember, we have board examinations, no? Licensure examination. And this one is really very important. And we have also for the DP or the PhD. DP, this is the professional track. Doctor of Psychology, and PhD, this is the academic track. And the master's degree in psychology is really very important. And assuming also that your master's program is not in psychology, then bridging courses should be offered by the school or by the college or by the university. And we have also the core courses of 6 units. What are these core courses? The development of psychological thought, history, and emergency trends. No, why? It's because that we have to know the current trends as well as the history and ethics in psychology. When we were attending in Indonesia, in Singapore, in Malaysia, other Asian countries, no, regarding the psychology program, it's only here in the Philippines that we are not, there's no particular subject or course, no, for ethics in psychology. Kaya naglagay kami ng ethics in psychology. No? At ginawan na rin namin ng aming course outline. Meron na rin kami ginawa nito. And for the research methods, for the MP, this is the professional track in the master's program, 3 units. Kasi capstone research ang ipagagawa sa kanila. But for the academic track, 6 units for the research methods, no? And for the DP, professional track, no? For Doctor of Psychology, 6 units ang kanilang research methods. And for the academic track, 9 units for their research methods. And also here, we have the majors. We identified. Why? Because during the master's program, we have seen that in the master's degree, there are specializations offered already by different schools. That's why? Because after your graduation, after you will pass the licensure examinations, you will be what? Practitioners in the field of psychology. That's why the major here, we have 12 units, no? For the MP and MA, no? An intervention course in psychology, then an assessment course in psychology, and for IO, meron din silang assessment, diagnosis, psychological assessment, no? Intervention, OD, HRM. We identified already all of this para hindi mahirapan ang schools. Counseling, advanced clinical, and then we have assessment, and also psychotherapy. And then in developmental psychology, assuming you have the child and adult assessment, and also the family therapy. And in social, we have attitude assessment, community counseling. And also for the elective courses, no? Elective or the cognates. For the MP, we have 3 units. For the MA, 0, no? Kasi doon nila kukunin yung kanilang sa majors. Doon na lang sila, marami ang kanilang kukuning courses. And for the DP, the Doctor of Psychology, 12 units ang kanilang elective or cognates. And for the PhD in Psychology, 9 units for the elective and 9 units for the electives or the cognates. And for the comprehensive examinations for MA, it's only optional, no? But there are schools who are asking students already for the comprehensive examinations. For example, in LaSalle, in UST, we have comps, no? But in UP, wala pang comprehensive exams. But for the PhD and the DP, they have already comprehensive examinations. No? And thesis, it's only the academic track, the MA in psychology. And dissertation, it's only the PhD psychology, which is the academic track. And now, if you will ask me, how about for the research? It's the capstone research, no, for our practitioners. And practicum internship for the MP, which is the professional track, we have 500 hours, including culminating project. 500 hours for the MP, for the practitioners. And for the MA, 300 practicum hours. But for the DP, this is the practitioners, it's 1,000 hours, including the capstone project, no, and presentation. And for the PhD, which is the academic track, 700 hours. You might ask me, bakit? Because in some countries, in Singapore, for example, it's already 1,000 hours. No? Kaya kailangan with the international standards, we have to abide as well with the international standards. And the total number of units, we have 30 for the MP, 33 for the MA, which is the academic track, 45 units for the professional and the academic track for the doctoral program. And also now for the program requirements. for CHED CMO number 15, no, for the program requirements, then you should have here a very structured graduate program, no? And also you have to abide and adopt the OBE graduate program design. That is according to CHED CMO number 15. And also here, for our administration, no? For the MA and PhD, that the head should be what? Should have a doctoral degree in psychology. And here, that is our proposed, for the proposed version, it's the same, no? Qualification for programs that offer DP and PhD, the program director or head shall be a holder of what? A doctoral degree in psychology, no? And for MA and MP in psychology, the director of the program should have at least a master's degree in psychology. Why? Why are we doing this? We went to different schools all over the Philippines before the pandemic. And it's quite hard to look for people with master's degree in psychology and licensed at that, no? Lalo na sa mga probinsya, nako, hirap na hirap po sila. That's why we tried this one, no? We tried contextualizing all of this for our field because we have seen how other schools cannot initiate or come up or prepare a degree program in their town, in their province because of this qualification. But at this time with CHED CMO number 15, it's always with doctoral degree, no, of the discipline. So we have to be, although this is good as well, no? Why? Because we want quality. No? But we have to take into consideration the real, the actual scenario, no? That is happening as well in your degree program. And next to that, we have here the faculty requirements, no? Faculty requirements in CHED CMO number 15, faculty teaching in graduate programs, specifically the doctoral level, shall be holders of doctoral degrees, of course, no? And there should also be industry-oriented master's programs, especially that we are offering some schools are offering the professional track in their field, no? And also, we have to consider here now, in comparison with our proposed CMO, we have the pool of qualified faculty members, no? Because, as I've told you, it's quite hard. Kahit dito lang sa Metro Manila, yung mga pinupuntahan namin, hirap na hirap yung other psychology schools. That's why we decided here that for the master's program, the faculty profile should be 25% MS degree holders and 75% should be PhDs. No? And for those applying to offer doctorate degree programs, faculty members must all be PhD holders. No? Yun. Kasi nga, hirap na hirap yung iba. Until now, there are applications wherein it's not approved, no? Why? Because they cannot provide faculty members. And that's why we have proposals for this. And the number of qualified faculty members, no? We have to take note of this in terms of the CHED CMO number 15. For master's program, there shall be at least 4 faculty members per program at all times. At all times. I don't know, I think there are different interpretations for this, no? Probably you can ask some lawyers to interpret what's the meaning of there shall be at least 4 faculty members per program at all times under CHED CMO number 15. What if you are offering 4 or 3 master's program? At least you should have 12, at least 12, no? At all times. I don't know if I'm correct that there should not be sharing of faculty members in this CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. Huh? And you should have publications also. No? Of course, publication is really very important. But to tell you honestly, you go to the provinces. Medyo hirap pa po sila. And right now, I'm very happy, no, listening to our convention paper presentations from all over the Philippines. And right now, everyone, no, is publishing and doing research works. And I hope that everyone can satisfy this number of qualified faculty members in terms of the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. And also another thing that I would like to take note of, no, for the non-thesis track, for faculty members as well. And they have to publish their works in a referee journal, no? That's why we have to take note of all of these requirements. And aside from that, at least one full-time faculty who has a doctoral degree in the discipline with published works in referee journals and or have published publicly recognized creative or technology output. This is for the master's non-thesis track. Huh? Yun po. I hope that we have to consider all of this. And for the faculty requirements in our CHED proposed CMO, qualification, at least 2 full-time faculty member with PhD for the MA program, and 3 full-time faculty with masters in psychology. I'll repeat, MA, 2 PhD at least, no? And 3 full-time faculty members with master's degree in psychology. And with MP program, at least 2 full-time faculty with PhD DP in psychology and 3 full-time faculty members with master's degree in psychology. Bakit? Kasi hirap na hirap po yung iba kuha or they have difficulties in hiring, no, faculty members in psychology. And also another one, we have for doctoral programs in the CHED CMO number 15, at least 4 full-time faculty members per doctoral program at all times, no? Sana, I don't know kung probably you can ask again your lawyers to interpret this one at all times. I don't know, no? That would mean as well for me, my interpretation, this is for me only, that if you're teaching in the doctoral level, you'll be considered as a faculty member in the doctoral level, no? Parang no sharing of faculty members under CHED CMO number 15 for the doctoral programs. That's why we have to be very careful in revising our curriculum and the number of faculty members that we're going to hire for our psychology program. And we have here for the proposed, no, CHED CMO for our PhD, at least 3 full-time tenured faculty member with PhD DP, no, for our professional track. And we have here the PhD is at least 3 full-time tenured faculty members, but of course with publications naman. Yun ang proposal namin, no? Yun po ang proposal namin because in CHED CMO at least 4 faculty members. But with us, we have 3 full-time and tenured faculty members. No? We tried doing this really to meet the standards of our psychology program in the Philippines. And so I've discussed already in terms of the CHED CMO number 15 and our proposal. We've been working for it, but we were informed that we cannot use it as of this time. But we are here to get your concerns and feedback, no? Because I know that we can present all of this to the Commission on Higher Education. And aside from that, we've decided to also discuss with you the issues of equivalency related to the implementation of CHED CMO number 34, series of 2017. Ito yung sa undergraduate program natin. And CHED CMO number 39, series of 2010. Ito yung sa graduate programs natin na sinusunod natin ngayon. And the PRC guidelines as prescribed by psychology law or the RA 129. What are the issues that we are talking about in terms of equivalency at CHED? No? Some schools did not follow the program or the degree names. Kasi sila, bachelor pa lang, bachelor in our CMO number 38 series of 2010, no? And in our CHED CMO number 34 series of 2017, the degree or program descriptions is only Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. Yung ibang schools, Bachelor of Science in Education, major in Psychology. Meron pa ngang Bachelor of Arts in Education, major in Political Science, minor in Psychology. I hope that all schools will follow and abide with the policies stated in the CHED CMO number 34, series of 2017. We are already 2021. No? So this is already implemented. Ay, para yung mga estudyante nyo, hindi na pumunta ng CHED. Kasi pag nag-a-apply sila sa PRC, sinasabihan pumunta sa CHED. No? And we're using our CMO. Kasi kami rin they might blame us if we will not work and follow what is stated in our CMO. Course, again, titles and course descriptions. Some schools failed to comply with those prescribed under CHED CMO for graduate and undergraduate programs. No? Yung course title pa lang, nakalagay naman sa CHED CMO yun. Theories of personality. Kung ano-anong course title ang nilalagay. Kaya kami, binabasa namin yung course description para they can take the licensure examinations. Graduates failed to enroll in board courses, no, specified in RA, in the IRR of RA 129 for them to qualify the PRC board examinations for psychometricians and psychologists. Meron kasing mga schools na hindi ino-offer yung board courses. Kaya pumupunta rin sa amin sa CHED kung anong malapit doon, yun ang pinakre-credit. And the worst is we're following the CMO. And I hope that you will follow what is stated in the CMO. Degree obtained abroad to be considered as equivalent to bachelor or doctoral degree in the Philippine higher education institutions. No, for example, they graduated abroad and they are trying to ask for certificate of equivalency, no, from CHED. Yun yung mga inaano namin, sini-certify din namin. But we're following still the CHED CMO number 39 series of 2010 and CHED CMO number 34 series of 2017. Tapos, meron din sa amin pumupunta yung degree obtained prior to the approval of 129 of RA 129 in March 2010. No? They graduated already and they failed to enroll in some courses. What are they going to do for them to take the licensure examinations? And degrees obtained after the implementation of the psychology law in 2014. So, dapat andun na yung mga board courses. And also subjects courses which the applicant believes that are equivalent to the licensure examinations courses subjects required by PRC. For example, seminar in clinical psychology, seminar in clinical psychology. They would ask us to credit it for assessment psychology or advanced theories of personality, something like that, no? Kasi ma'am, dito sa seminar na to, diniscuss namin ang theories of personality. Diniscuss din namin, you know what, these are the issues that we usually encounter. And psychology courses subjects obtained abroad as equivalent to PRC licensure examinations. Those are the issues that we usually take into considerations in giving certificate of equivalency as prescribed by the psychology law in the Philippines. And also we are here to get your feedback, no, from HEIs regarding your concerns relating to the psychology programs. And we've been working for our proposed CHED CMO. I hope because at this time, there are a lot of people who are asking what are the things that we should do with this CHED CMO number 15, no? Series of 2019. Our response really is the proposed CMO. But if you have some concerns, we're here to answer your concerns. And thank you so much. Maraming
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Claudette. That was very comprehensive. And while you were explaining to us, maraming questions that have come through, no? And I'd like to invite in our panelists.
Dr.
As
Karin.
well.
Hi, thank you.
Doc Karing, Doc Pichi is around. And if Dr. Kwai is around as well.
I think si Doc Karin is here.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Karin is here.
Alright. At dahil may panel sila, may panel din tayo, Monique. Diba?
True, yes.
So, introduce natin yung mga tumutulong sa atin. We have Miss Pat Ramirez. Hi, Pat.
Hello,
Ayan. From Assumption College. And we also have, ay nawala na si Julix. Nandito ba si Julix? Iniwan tayo ni Julix bigla. Okay, so later on, Julix will be coming in. So Pat will help us read some of the questions that some of our viewers were able to send over their comments on the Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. So currently, we have 511 viewers. Meron tayong mga viewers around 345 on Facebook and we've had 257 reactions. Wala naman ako nakikitang angry pa. So, meron silang heart, may care, may sad. Oo, mga ganyan. Okay. Sige, Miss Pat, ano yung ibang mga questions baka gusto mong basahin for us?
Ayan. So, may nagtanong sa atin. Sabi, for the publications in master's level, does our proposed CMO specify whether we look for proof of submission or proof of acceptance?
Sino yung nagtanong yan? Saan ba yan? Sorry. Baka pwede nating i-flash direct. Oo, yung question na yun.
Direct. We also would like to acknowledge Dr. Lota Te, who's here with us. Ayan. Thank you, Dr. Lota, for coming.
Sige, paulit natin yung question at saka kung kanino galing.
Farida.
Alala mo ba?
Direct. Yeah.
Ayan ba yun?
Same person, direct. Ayan. Meron din, from same person to, pero yung isang question niya kanina is, if the CMO proposal specify whether we look for proof of submission or proof of acceptance.
Thank you. I think we need the proof of acceptance. No, it's specified as well in our proposed CMO. The proof of acceptance is really very important because in some schools you cannot defend your paper, your dissertation, unless you will not present the proof of acceptance.
Okay. Siguro maganda, Doc Claudette, ilagay din natin yun dun sa proposed CMO.
Yes.
Na proof of acceptance. Hindi lang siya...
Thank you, Beth. We will do that. Actually, it's already included in our file, no? Nandun na rin yun.
Alright. Sige. Maraming salamat. Si Farida, I think, is the regional chairperson of... Tama ba? Hindi lang ako sure kung anong region. Pero
okay, may next question pa tayo. May next question tayo.
We have
next question, direct. Ayan.
We have several questions from
Ayan,
Dr.
from Dr. Lota. Okay.
Sabi dyan, even if there's no separate courses in ethics, it can be incorporated in various courses like in research methods, counseling, assessment, practical, more of a comment. And then she also asked, is PhD psychology as proposed always considered an academic track, or can it also be a research track?
Thank you, Dr. Lota Te. Thank you so much. Regarding the ethics, that's correct. No, right now we're incorporating it in all the courses that we are teaching. No, the ethics in psychology. But in other countries, it is a separate course. That's why when we were presenting the curriculum of the Philippines, the psychology curriculum in the Philippines, it's only our country without the ethics in psychology per se is a course. But I've informed them that it's already incorporated in our different subjects, psychology subjects or courses. And may I have the professional or the academic track or by research? That is a very good one. No, we can include that in our proposed CHED CMO because the others are doing it already. And they have very good publications. For example, there are PhD students with more than 3 or 4 publications. So that would qualify already as PhD by research.
Thank you.
Okay, sige. Naririnig ba ako? O nakamute
Yes.
ako? Okay. Question, Doc Claudette, siguro, kasi may nagbanggit dito, I think in our proposed, there is an MA. Paano daw yung mga MS? So wala na ba tayong Master of Science in Psychology?
MS Psychology, in our proposed, it's only the MA, no? MA site. But we can have that, especially for those who are working, no? This is only the proposed version that I've shown to you. We can have the MS version in psychology. Why? Because there are students or faculty members whose specialization really is, for example, in the neuropsychology, they are into the sciences, the clinical part of it, no? That could be taken, no? That could also be included.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
We will try to include that. That is a very good suggestion.
Sige. All right. Thank you, Doc Claudette. Miss Pat, maybe you can read the next one. Flash to na
Here, yung highlight ayan. Is it possible to transfer from DP to PhD and vice versa after one started with one of the programs?
Yes, everyone has the we have the it's actually the decision of the student to shift or transfer from one program to the other. However, we have to follow the requirements, no? We really have to follow the requirements because
Siguro
one
depende.
requirements for DP at least 5 or 3 years of service, no? That we really have to take note of.
Siguro depende na rin yun without
Sure.
compromising the academic freedom of the institutions, no? On what kind of, how they would be crediting the courses or in shifting programs.
Dr.
Sige.
Ring, do you have insights on that?
I agree with Dr. Claudette that it's really the prerogative of the student. And then as long as the requirements and then the track, in terms of the units, the practicum hours are met, then it is the prerogative of the student. Of course, there will be certain mechanics there in terms of the institution. Maybe I'd like to add something. Thank you, Monique. I'd like to just add something about the ethics. The comment of Dr. Lota is actually true that ethics is really like integrated in most of the subjects. I think in the CMO, it's only it would like to highlight that it to teach ethics a separate course, but it doesn't mean that we just teach it in that particular course. So we continue to integrate ethics in all the courses, and then if there is one particular ethics course, then that will really like be deep up our knowledge. And then there's so much to learn about ethics, even if like in convention we present ethics every convention. We will never run out of issues and cases. So it's really just highlighting it, how important it is in our practice.
All right, well said. Thank you, Dr. Karing. We also have coming from the psychology graduate program talaga yung buong nag-comment sa atin, no? Sige nga, Miss Pat, ano yung sabi ng buong program na yun?
It's not required to have
They're asking, does this mean everyone is now required to have both license and specialization, or can it be one or the other, especially for those fields are not aligned with clinical counseling or counseling psychology?
Again, we're here, no? If we will study, enroll in the master's and PhD programs, of course, we have to practice. We will practice. And one of the requirements now for us to practice is we must have a license, diba? And industry, the government, schools, and communities are now asking for the licenses of our psychologists. No? It's always your prerogative either to take the board examinations or not. But for me, if you will ask me, take the licensure examinations. Because after that, you will practice. And most of the people as well from the academe are practitioners.
Dr.
So,
Ring, any insight
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah, to some extent, I agree with Doc Claudette that license is really important. But I think there are a lot of discussions, and we have debated. The discipline has debated on this, and my take is like psychology is really a diverse field, and there are certain disciplines in psychology that may actually not that their their path is not towards practice or more clinical practice. So I would actually like maybe say that while it is important, license is important, licensure is important, but for those fields who really think that they can do psychology work, and then having a license is not a prerequisite to do what they are doing and to contribute to the field of psychology. I would suggest that we can maybe have an open mind in terms of this issue, as long as we are not really like going against the guidelines either of the PRC or the CMO. So I guess there are just many issues there. So I think for us in the CHED technical committee, it's really like, okay, we are bound by certain parameters. But this licensure and specialization is really like an issue of the entire discipline and PAP. I think we have several fora already that talks about this, and it's really like recognizing the diversity of psychology as a field.
Thank you, Dr. Ring.
okay. Sige. Isama ko nun, nabanggit na rin naman natin si Xavier University. Meron siyang follow-up question if they have to publish ba by next year or they do have to follow the 2019. Again, we have to siguro distinguish lang kasi ano ba yung susundin na ngayon nila? Yung 2010 pa rin o yung si 2019? Na from
2010.
the 2019 CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019 is the existing policies, standards, and guidelines for across programs. No? Kindly follow the 2019 CHED CMO because it is now being implemented by the Commission on Higher Education. Yun nga lang, there are schools, we've been discussing this in the technical committee. There are schools wherein they have concerns regarding that. But in the meantime, kindly follow. And if you have some concerns, you can email it to us or through the Teaching Psychology Division, and they'll give it to us, and we will write a letter addressed to the Commission on Higher Education for this. We're here just to bridge your concerns to the Commission on Higher Education.
Dr. Ring, you were about to say something.
Yeah. I think nakakalito kasi yung mga pangalan tsaka yung year, ano. I think maybe just to reiterate what Doc Claudette mentioned, that what is actually being implemented right now is the 2019, but the CMO 15, right, Dr. Claudette? CMO 15,
Yes.
and then 2019. But if the question is like if it's the for the graduate program of 2010 or the one that was presented by Dr. Claudette, as mentioned and emphasized by Dr. Claudette, proposed 2017 yon. Parang we were looking forward that or actually at then we were parang hoping that it would actually be approved. But currently, as mentioned by Dr. Claudette, highlighted that it's actually the proposed, yung GS program ng 2017. So hindi pa talaga siya ang tawag doon, approved. So what is being implemented is the 2010, yung in terms of the graduate program, but the MO 15, the 2019, I think that's a go, and that's I think for all the discipline. And siguro just to highlight lang din yung sinabi ni Doc Claudette kanina, kasi parang yung CMO 15 2019, ang daming parang challenges in terms of meeting that. But we said that we actually kind of like thought of that dun sa proposed guideline, and that's the reason why Dr. Claudette parang presented it sa comparison. Yun lang, just to highlight the difference between CMO 15, and then the proposed guidelines.
Right.
Thank you.
To make it more complicated, Doc Karin, kasi meron tayong CMO 38 of series of 2010. So, I'm flashing it right now. So, kunwari parang, siguro ito din yung concern ni Pong, no? Sabi niya, magre-retro ba siya? So, kunwari, ako, no, doctoral program ako, nag-enroll ako ngayon, so, ng psychology in a doctoral program. Basically, it's following the CMO 38. No? So parang ano ba yung mag-a-apply? Mag-a-apply ba yung si 2019 meron ng 2010? Or siguro ang tanong din dito, kailan ba ako nag-enroll for my doctoral program? Tandaan nyo yung mga 2019 at pag lumalabas yung mga CMOs na yan, hindi yan automatic na nag-a-apply within that particular year. Kunwari, sinabi mong 2017, minsan nare-release yan 4 months, 5 months, nag-start na yung school year. So technically, ang implementation yan would be, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, the CMO 2019 actually mandates higher education institutions to implement it within the next 3 years. So ibig sabihin, kung 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, dapat by 2022, i-implement mo na siya full. Okay? So ako siguro, ang tanong ko lang din dito, yun na, kung ako'y doctoral student, lumabas sa curriculum ko, di pa naman nila ini-implement si 2019. So, anong ngayon, mag-e-effect ba yun? Magre-retro ba siya? Doc Claudette?
I would like to correct, no, first and foremost, yung CHED CMO number 38, series of 2010. It's for the undergraduate program. But we have a new one. That's for the 34, CMO number 34, series of 2017, which is properly implemented. Now, kasi 17. That's correct, no? For example, with CHED CMO number 17, number 34, series of 2017, we have the 3 years provisionary period, no? That it should be implemented after the 3rd year, no? So, 2017, 18, 19, 20. So, CMO number 34, series of 2017, it's already in the full implementation. So, we need to follow that one. Now, with the CHED CMO number 15, series of 2019, all schools, that's why it had been released sometime July of 2019, no? Because we were asked to attend orientation. Yun meron palang ganito, no? July, last week of July. Sometime July 29, 2019. Then we have 3 years provisionary period. Now, if you are enrolled in your master's or doctorate degree, you are still we call it under the old curriculum. Kasi soon, magkakaroon na ng new curriculum in compliance with the CHED CMO number 15. If, for example, you cannot graduate on time, remember, for masters, we have 5 years of residency. And for PhD, we have 7 years of residency. Now, if you cannot graduate during that time, during that period, then after the next year, you might be, it could be, it would depend in your school, no? It could be a retroactive now. If I were you, for those who are still, no, in your master's program, please make sure that you can graduate within this academic year and also next year. Because by 2022-2023, CHED CMO number 15 will be implemented already. There is always a 3 years, we have the 3-year provisionary period, no? Kaya
For its full implementation, right?
I would like to remind everyone, we have a proposed, no, CHED CMO. Number 2017 ito. Pinirmahan na namin ni na Dr. Karing, ni na Dr. Pichi, ni Dr. Kwe ito. In-endorse na namin. Tapos na po ito. Kaya lang, hindi na po. Sabi nila sa amin, kasi we were the first one to submit. Hindi na po na nag-materialize. And looking at the CMO number 15 in relation with the psychology program, that there are concerns. I'm telling Karing, Dr. Pichi, Dr. Miriam, probably this is our answer.
Right.
And we have a lot of concerns, no, regarding that matter. If you have concerns, please give it to us through the Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group, and we will try our best. We're here, no, to bridge the gap. Para, alam ko, even if this pandemic, I used to evaluate a lot of schools here in the Philippines. How much more kung ito ay already implemented, yung CHED CMO number 15, series of 2019. Na-memorize na nga namin yan ni Dr. Karing, Dr. Pichi. Siguro, baka pinapanigan, we're dreaming about it, no? Kasi yun na lang parang kinakain din namin. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Can I just,
go ahead, Dr. Karing.
Is it okay to add? Okay, Doc Claudette, baka magpanik yung mga nasa MA or PhD na hindi matatapos like this year or next year. I think what is important here, yung sinasabi nga na hina-highlight lang na parang the full implementation of the CMO, parang all HEIs are given 3 years to work on it. Pero syempre na I suppose there will be a lot of parang leeway to be given para dun sa mga nasa middle of the program tapos merong bagong rules na pumasok. So while 3 years are given for the full implementation, I don't think, kumbaga sabi nga ni Doc Claudette, maybe you can start inquiring from your university kasi I don't think naman na mag-change ang rules in the middle of a ball game, no? So mayroong So I think ako naman ang gusto kong sabihin, parang while there parang hanggang 2022 ang implementation. Kunyari for some reason na hindi talaga matatapos for whatever reason, lalo na ngayong pandemic, I think it is best also to to allay your anxiety nga is to talk to your university and what are the implications of that, no? So yun lang yung gusto kong sabihin, na merong mga guidelines na binabato sa atin. I think there is a way also of like getting more information, being clarified whether these rules will really like apply to us. Lalo na, kunyari, 20 ano ka pa, no? 2015 ka nagsimula ng MA mo or PhD mo, 2019 lang to nilabas. Hindi ka pa talaga naman matatapos, no? Yung ganon. So, that one. And also, I'd also like to think that minsan merong yung residency na sinabi ni Doc Claudette, 5 years, 7 years. Minsan, lalo na yung mga autonomous schools, they have different, like, parang length in terms of the residency. So, I think best to get information from your respective university department chair para wag kayong masyadong magpanic at ma-anxious. Parang no time for that in this time of the pandemic also. Okay,
Yun.
yun
Okay.
lang.
Yun yung tanong, yun yung sagot kay Becky Lanes. Kung implemented na ba, best person or best institution to ask if they are already implementing is your school. Alright, punta naman tayo kay Miss Pat. Yung question ni...
Si Sir Eric Amion.
Mhm.
Si Sir Eric Amion. Is there a possibility to include supervision-related course like clinical supervision to MA or PhD program curriculum?
Actually, it's included, no? Because we have the practicum or internship. It's included already we anticipated for that. Because, for example, in Singapore, they have 1,000 hours for their clinical supervision. And here in the Philippines, as of this time, that would depend, no? With the school, how many hours. But we already included the clinical supervision. It's already in our CHED proposed lang yung 2017. I would like to remind everyone that what I presented, it's a comparison of our proposed and CHED CMO number 15.
Okay. Sige. May tanong dito from our YouTube. I don't know how. Sige nga, Miss Pat. I think it has something to do with the subjects involved. In relation to guidance and counseling.
Angelo Melgar, is that it? From Angelo Melgar? Yeah. Okay, in GC, Guidance Counseling Programs, the title is Counseling Tools Theories. However, with MA Psych, it is Counseling and Psychotherapy. How do you see it in terms of the RSI board crediting?
Okay, thank you, Angelo. Actually, counseling tools and theories, it's one of the subjects or courses offered under the guidance and counseling program. No? But counseling and psychotherapy, it's offered in the master's program. In fact, it is one of the licensure courses for the psychologists. No? And if you will present counseling tools and theories and tools to our PRC commissioners or to our board of psychology in PRC, they may not, no? I am not from the PRC, no? Because they're aware about this. They are familiar with the courses or subjects in terms of counseling and psychotherapy. They are also familiar with the courses for guidance and counseling. So kindly follow what is stated in our licensure courses. in the licensure or board examinations for psychologists and for psychometricians.
Okay. All right. So, I think we sent a message right now on where they can get the CMO. Lumabas na ba yung link na yon?
Yes,
With,
yes.
I think it's on Facebook, but I don't know how to. Okay. For both teaching, SIGTV account on YouTube. So, ito po yung link on where you can get it from CHED, just in case you would like to discuss it further with your own programs. Ayan. Meron pa ba tayong nagtatanong?
Well,
Direct?
may i-clarify lang ako. Yung CHED
Go ahead po.
CMO number 15, the CHED CMO number 15 is being used now by administrators by different schools in doing their curriculum review, no, in preparation for academic year 2023 or 2022-2023, because all schools as well must comply with the CHED CMO. Our proposed CMO is not yet implemented. It's only a proposed. Proposal pa lang po namin yun.
Yes. And
Contextualized for the psychology program.
that's the reason why we are doing the ano tawag dito, the town hall session, is to get nga their concerns, no, based on what is implemented and how we can propose a better siguro CMO in specific for psychology, no? Tama po ba, Doc Coleradet?
Yes. Opo. Thank you so much.
All right. Sige, may questions pa yata tayo. I think we can entertain several ones.
So, Miss Pat? Oh, okay. Sige. This is from Dr. Jerry Jurisprudencia. Question niya ay, why cannot we follow the spirit of the psych law that requirements like these are really to safeguard the consumers and not allow other fields of psych to intrude in the counseling or do psychotherapy because they are not trained for that, such as social psych, psych, etc. I guess this is more of an insight from Dr. Jerry. Dr. Ring, can we get your feedback on this?
Yeah, I think that's a comment. Thank you, Dr. Jerry. And yes, that's really the spirit of the psych law. And then, syempre from the CHED, iba naman yung ano nila, yung kanilang focus. It's really like the HEIs, and then how do we also like make sure that it is at par in terms of standards. And I think when Dr. Miriam is here, they talk about, diba, yung mga qualification framework, yan naman yung sa academic side. But certainly, what Dr. Jerry commented is okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ring. I'm not sure, no, if you can put this in some. Pwede mo ba, can you share also the CMO that is currently implemented for psychology graduate program?
Sige, hanapin. Ay, yung proposed. Willing ba kayo?
Willing ba kayo to share?
With the proposed CHED CMO, actually, this is the first time that we discussed it, no? We're not yet going to share it with you. Why? Because that might add confusion, no? And
yes. Yeah.
I hope that you will understand. We're trying our best. We're doing what is supposed to be done, but at this time, we cannot share it with you.
And it's still a work in progress po. That's why we're here, no? To take in comments and insights. So, pwede mong maging ma-improve pa to accommodate and to be more inclusive. Are there any more questions? Yes, Dr. Rini, you about to say
yes, can I add to what Dr. Claudette mentioned? I agree 100% that we cannot share it yet because one, this is not official yet, and then it might create that confusion and chaos with CMO 15. The reason why Dr. Claudette and then the technical committee decided to actually see the comparison is that there are some challenges that may have been answered by this particular proposed thing. And also, I think Dr. Claudette mentioned that we're getting parang feedback comments, so that when it's time to still revise that particular proposal, we can incorporate all of this. And I think all of us are facing the challenge of that CMO 15. So yun lang. So I hope people also don't get confused with the proposed guidelines and then the CMO 15.
That's right. I-add na natin ngayon si Sir Junix. Hindi na ako nagsabi kay Junix, nag-pop up na lang siya bigla.
Good afternoon po.
Junix,
Hi.
iniwan mo kami kanina, nawala ka, magtatanong ka
Biglang
ng
umulan
question.
po kasi dito.
It's okay, we understand. Dito din naman. Siguro, while Sir Junix is finding the right question to ask in a while, siguro ako bilang part ng nasa Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group, and because I am also a government employee, baka naman pwedeng gawin natin naman na instead lang na full-time, gawin na natin permanent din yung faculty para mapilitan namang irregular yung ating mga faculty members. Kasi minsan, full-time on paper, on the number of loads, pero contractual, hindi regular. I think in terms of employment, in terms of making our programs more sustainable, hindi kasi po sa lahat ng schools and universities yung ating program chairs at deans ay permanent. No? Minsan, nilalagay lang talaga sila doon because of their credentials, but not necessarily on that. Baka lang it might help. I also know that there are some CMOs that require, for example, in social work, na kailangan active member, ang chair ng specific accrediting organization. Maybe you can also look into that as a requirement, not just a doctorate degree in terms of credentials, but also as an active member of our organization, and that could easily be seen from PAP, mag-issue lang naman yun ng certification. And at the same time, yun nga, baka naman pwedeng permanent para may regular tayong mga faculty members, not just full-time. Sige. Pwede ba yun? Mga
This
doc?
is noted. Proposed pa lang naman to, pwede pang magdagdag. But we included there the full-time tenured. Because if you're tenured, it's permanent.
That's right.
Yes.
Sige. Thank you very much. Meron po bang, Sir Junix, may nahanap ka ng question?
Ay, ito. Parang naulit
natakpan
yata
naman si
siya.
Junix.
Pero itong naka-flash, parang, wait lang yung mukha ko, hindi nakikita. Ayan po. We have po a question from Sir Paulo Makapagal. Ayan. So, sabi niya, can the technical panel clarify the requirement of licensed saan na yun? Requirement of licensed for the head of the MA or PhD program. How a non-licensed program head be qualified if he or she is now qualified to teach board course subjects and internship in the MA or PhD. So siguro po, ano ba to? Yung first question muna, no? Can the technical panel clarify the requirement of licensed head of the MA or PhD program? I think magka-relate po siya pala. Ayan po.
Kasi
And also
ang
it's
tanong
flashed
niya,
on the screen. Opo.
Oo, Junix, ang tanong ni Paulo is, kung kunwari non-licensed yung program head, hindi naman siya kasi qualified to teach board exam subjects. That's not specific to psychology. There's a psychology law, there's a law on that, on professional, on protecting professionalism. I'll try to find that out. But it's not specific lang to psychology. Wait, hanapin ko siya. But Doc Claudette, can you perhaps add more to what we mentioned?
Actually, there are questions, from other people before, whether we need to include that the chair or the program head should be licensed. We did not include that in the CMO.
Proposed.
even in the proposed, no? We will try to, even in the CHED CMO number 34, it's not included. Huh? But if you are, no, a program chair, for me, this is only for me, this is my personal take on that. You should be a licensed psychologist because not that you are managing the entire, you should know, no, the what is happening in the entire department. Kaya lang,
Oh,
sabi ni Dr. Karing, no, there are parameters, there are also limitations. Maganda yung licensed, yung ating program chair, yung ating yung ating chairperson. That would depend now with the school, no? This is a case-to-case basis. But in CHED SEMO number 34, we did not include that.
all right. Okay. Sige, nahanap ko na. Before I go to, I asked Doc Ring for her insights on that. I found out na it's RA 8981, Section 11, that says that the person to teach subjects for licensure examinations on all professions, all subjects should be taught by persons who are holders of valid certificates of registration and valid professional licenses of the profession and who comply with other requirements of CHED. Ayun. So, I think yun yung, at least yung law, very very general lang to. Medyo matagal na tong law na to na 8981. I think it was the time of, PRC Modernization Act of 2000 pa to. So, that was 20 years ago. And yun yung pinapractice natin. Sige, or ginagamit natin. Dr. Ring, any insights?
Yeah, of course, there is a reason why that particular requirement or provision was not included in the our even in our proposed graduate school program. I'm sure there was a lot of discussion on that, and we thought it is actually best to respect the different HEIs in terms of that, and the track and then the focus of the HEI. So we did not include that as a requirement for a valid reason. Now, if you're going to ask, like, let's say it's a clinical psych program, let's say not the chair of the entire department, but if you're talking about if there are if you talk about a particular field, then maybe, as you mentioned there, certainly the faculty that need to teach the licensure subjects need to be licensed. But leadership wise, administrative wise, it's actually open. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, that's also the reason why we actually were silent in terms of that particular provision. And yeah, so I think there's a maybe in future fora of teaching division we can discuss this more, the pros and cons, and then so that all voices will be heard.
That's right. So, initial lang to ha. Baka isipin nga ito na yung first and final dialogue or town hall that we will be doing to craft and to help our technical panel members and the chair, of course, in crafting a well thought of, well planned, in compliance with other in other requirements, no? Yung ASEAN framework, yung OBE, lahat yon kino-consider dapat kasi natin. Sige. I think we can accommodate to two more. Pwede pa ba tayo mag two more, direct? Sige. Sir Junix?
Ayan, parang interesting po yung question and I think very relevant yung question ni Ma'am Danny from UPD. Is there room for compromise in the publication requirement given the realities of the time it takes to conduct and publish rigorous social science research in quality journals? Ayan po.
This is a case-to-case basis, no? This one would depend on the decision, again, of the HEI, the school, college, university, no, regarding that matter. And if we're talking of CHED CMO number 15, by next year, it should be implemented, and new curriculum will be implemented, and probably by that time we are used with this pandemic, with the new normal. I hope also we can have a compromise with this, no? And that's correct, at this point it's quite hard to gather data, especially with the clinical intervention, assessment, and others. But we have strategies, we have um, approaches on how we can go through with the data gathering. And also, there are a lot of people who were able to publish, no, amidst pandemic.
Dr. Ring, you might have an insight on this kasi a lot of our teachers probably fall to the into the trap of predatory journals, di po ba?
Yeah. I agree with what Dr. Claudette mentioned, and siguro it will really be up to the program, and then to give this kind of parang leniency and consideration to accommodate the students. So, yun lang yung yung comment ko on that.
I think important din kasi na we are basing the new proposed, no, for the psychology based on the 2019. So at siguro yung nagiging difficult lang din kasi doon kasi hindi lang siya basta publication, lalo na for the doctoral program, no? It's supposed to be indexed, Scopus, ganyan. So it is quite really difficult, no? Parang lumalabas, before you can award, baka wala nang graduate sa mga grad programs natin kung ganun kataas. However,
True.
siguro maganda din makita natin bakit ba to ini-implement, no? Because ang dami-daming mga doktor pero hindi naman talaga doktor, hindi ba? Parang, and then this is one way to ensure, no, that our discipline is practiced by really professionals na mataas yung standards natin. Because again, we need to consider this in the context of globalization, no? Kaya rin nahihirapan tayong makipag yung equivalencies natin, no, when we study abroad, kasi they would always look at our educational system as something that has not developed as much as we would like it to develop. So, balancing act yun between having that global standards, no, and being compassionate. Ano yung sinasabi ni Doc Gina? Rigor and compassion. So parang it's a balancing act between the two. Sige. And
Do we have another question? We can last question. Okay.
Meron pa ba?
Junie?
Ayan. Medyo na-block yung face ko ulit. Ayan. From Erla Agutaya. Is that right? I have a concern regarding the internship. If we want to take the board exam for psychologists, is it really a requirement to get internships specified under Section 3 of RA 10029? How about if you had internship in an industrial setting, can you still take the board exam? Some schools in their program don't specify what industry should we get internship from. So clarification po ito siguro from IO majors in the master's programs. Program.
Actually, sana nandito si Dr. Miriam, no, to answer this one. But in relation with RA 129, the requirement is 200 hours. Dun sa PRC ang nire-require nila. And I think schools for the master's program, they are requiring more than that, no? They're requiring 300, 500 hours for their students. And with that, for the internship or practicum. And with that, if you have the certification, present it to PRC. If you will apply for the licensure examinations, how about if you had internship in the industrial setting? um, yes, they will honor that. No, however, you have to to consider the requirements prescribed by PRC for the licensure examinations for psychologists. No, because they have also requirements, and I think schools should already abide with the CMO number 34, CMO number 39 for the psychology program, because it's stated there, no, that practicum internship is a part of the requirement of a certain curriculum. Sana po sumunod, kasi if you will just follow, no, wala sigurong pupunta sa CHED for certificate of equivalency. Yun po.
Okay po. Ma'am, yung sorry ma'am, yung siguro ma'am follow-up na lang dun sa question. So kunyari po ako ay MAIO Psychology, tapos nag-internship po ako sa isang industry and I got 200 hours, I can bring it to PRC and qualified po ako to take the RSI boards? Tama po ba yung pagkaintindi ko
You
dun?
take you should get the certification, no, because as far as I know, there are requirements in PRC, and one of the requirements is the practicum internship, and PRC ang nire-require nila as of this time. Nakita ko sa mga requirements, it's only 200 hours. No? And in fact, it's included in our law, in the psychology law, RA 129. Yes.
So, tama ba yung tindi ko, Junix, dun sa question mo? Kung ako ay student, ano ulit?
Kapag po parang yung specialization ng masters ay industrial.
Oo.
Tapos, 'di ba po may practicum din sila pero mas
Mhm.
industry than clinical yung setting. Pero na-complete po yung hours. Is parang so same
Kung
po yung process. I
possible
mean like
ba?
they can still take the RSI boards given na yung RSI boards ay more clinical, I guess.
Doc Karing, parang hindi, or Doc Lodet, hindi naman nakaspecify kung saang field yata dapat, di ba?
Wala,
For you to
hindi
qualify.
specified dun sa PRC. Kasi our law, it's masters in psychology lang ang nakalagay, di ba? Hindi naman nakalagay na Master of Arts in Clinical Psychology.
That's correct.
It's a general degree, no? Kaya regardless of the practicum certification, whether it would be coming from the industry, from the clinic, or whatsoever, basta meron kang certification of internship, I think
Right.
PRC will allow you.
That's
Thank you,
correct.
ma'am, for clarifying po.
Sige. Okay. Dahil dyan, maraming salamat, Sir Junix and Ms. Pat, for joining us in this open
Teka
forum.
po, Doc Ver,
meron pa bang question?
Doc Karing wants to ask a question.
Okay.
Sige po, Doc Karing, go ahead.
I have a question for Doc Lodet, but this is really a clarification, a question that maybe some of the HEIs are actually thinking. May mga phone-in question din kasi ako eh. So, some of the HEIs may be actually asking. So, kasi, di ba, meron na tayo yung CMO 15, Series 2019, that's really being implemented. And then, we have our old graduate school program, right? So, yung proposal, Dr. Claudette, that you mentioned a while ago, like what you said, is really proposed and it's not official yet. The question is, I think some of the HEIs may already be like thinking of revising their own program to be able to meet the requirement of CMO 15. Okay, um, in their kunyari in the revision, should they consider the old grad school program, or they can revise it without really looking into that, since as we said, we are crafting a new program. That's really a question. So siguro yung yung ano, kasi marami nagre-revise na ngayon. So
Yes.
anong CMO on the psych graduate
Ang
program ang
gagamitin.
susundin
Ang
nila or
gagamit.
gagamitin nila? So, your comment, Dr. Claudette.
Ang hirap, no? Honestly, may propose tayo. Gusto nating gamitin. Kaya lang it's not official. That's why a while ago someone was asking for a copy. We can't give it to you because it's still unofficial. And the official CMO that we have for the graduate program is the CMO number 39 series of 2010. Kaya lang ka rin 2010 pa yon, hindi siya
Exactly.
updated, di ba?
Yes.
Di ba? Yun
Yes.
yun.
So that's
Ay,
that's really the dilemma. So ako, I would suggest that they can maybe they can revise with parang anchoring it based on the CMO 15, because that's really
yes,
the official one.
the
And
official one.
then I'm sure if they go beyond the 2010, that's okay. I mean, don't just limit themselves to 2010.
Correct.
Kasi the old curriculum naman is really just like a baseline. So if they want to go beyond that, and I think that's okay. There's nothing in the CHED CMO that will prevent HEIs from revising their program more than what is actually stipulated in the old grad school program. But what we're saying is we can't really say that use our proposed revision because it's not official. But I think also the purpose of the town hall is to gather this to gather comments if the different HEIs can actually write to the teaching division and make that kind of parang suggestions, recommendations, maybe through the teaching division of PAP, and then the CHED Technical Committee of Psychology can we can put this together and actually like write a letter to CHED. But I think officially our stand is that the CMO 15 is the official document
Yes.
that needs to be like where we can anchor our revision.
Right.
Correct.
At siguro hindi naman to madalian no. So
Yeah.
there could be some provisions of the CMO 15 that you can start working on. For example, as mentioned by Doc Claudette, no, kunwari yung mga faculty members, ganyan. So pwede namang unti-unti. Again, the CMO is not just about the curriculum, the subjects that you're supposed to offer. It talks about library
Faculty,
resources,
yes.
faculty requirements, administration. Kahit palitan mo yung curriculum, if the others are not
Yes.
also working, then you're still unable to implement that. That's
And-
one.
Yes.
And then
What's nice about this? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. And second, perhaps you can also coordinate with your different accrediting agencies. Kasi nakakatulong din yung mga yan At iba-iba din yung standards minsan nila. No? So, kunwari, for example, for public schools or higher education, you have ALCU, or for local colleges and universities, and then PAASCO. So
ASCO.
itong mga ito naman would be able to see, engage, no? Ano na ba yung nagiging trend sa atin? Unti-unti. And I'm pretty sure yung 2019, hindi naman din siya mapu-fully implement given na meron tayong ganitong pandemic, no? And
Yes.
what is important siguro as administrators is that we show CHED and the government agencies like PRC that we are doing stuff, no, for the betterment of our discipline. This cannot be done overnight, sabi nga nila. Sige, Monique, you were saying?
And yeah, and alongside with this, it's important now we've heard no your sentiments, no, so that the CHED technical committee will be able to put this into the proposed working paper, no, for what how we can make ends meet, kumbaga, or try to bridge the gap. And I'm sure Dr. Ring and Dr. Claudette have now a feel of the sentiments of our teachers, our administrators, and we work together to make sure that we push forward to standardize and to elevate naman po yung ating psychology programs, particularly the graduate programs po.
Right. All right. So before we go, magpapaalam muna tayo kay Sir Junix and Miss Pat. So please stay in the backstage for a while. Huwag muna kayong umalis sa backstage. But we would like to thank you for your assistance for this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Junix, and thank you, Miss Pat.
Thank you.
All right. At bago natin pakawalan yung ating mga panelists, dahil kasi binigyan nila tayo ng trabaho, no? So mag-share na muna ako ng PowerPoint kasi nag-promise tayo sa mga members natin that we will be getting their insights, no? We would like to share, ginawa ko na siya habang chumichika tayong lahat kanina. But we would like to get your insights as well. I think it's being flashed right now. So you can scan on that QR code or go to the Google form so that we can send all of your comments to the technical panel. What were your impressions and stuff? But please keep it clean. keep it nice and sweet.
Professional.
Yes.
As such we are.
Right. So again, you can just log into there. You can scan the QR code, and then you can send your comments and your insights for Doc Claudette and Dr. Ring, Honorable Miriam Coya, Dr. Miriam Coya, and also Doc Pichi to look into. No? Ako nga magko-comment, ilalagay ko dyan para for the record, nilagay ko na kailangan regular ang ating mga faculty members. Okay, so paki-screenshot na po ang inyong mga screens right now. All right. Sige, bago tayo magtapos, I think that's one of the things that we would like, no? That the teaching psychology SIG would be able to help out the technical panel. Hindi naman kakayanin ng technical panel yan on their own. They also need our help. And siguro tapusin natin to, Dr. Ring, Doc Claudette, how do you think can we as individuals or as representatives of our schools and our organizations can be able to help you in making sure that the psychology discipline in the Philippines is at par with global standards and in helping you out with the new CMO?
Mauna na ako para finale na lang si Doc Claudette, ano. Simple lang naman yung sasabihin ko. So una, salamat kami, yung technical committee sa TAP for giving us this opportunity to talk to colleagues, to reach out to colleagues, and then Dr. Claudette presented yung comparison. Siguro with the help of the teaching division, if there are already very concrete challenges that you are facing currently in terms of the implementation of CMO 15, then maybe this can be sent through, pwede naman sigurong sulatan din yung CHED diretso. It doesn't have to pass through the technical committee. Kaya lang siguro the teaching division can help consolidate all the comments so that parang one voice tayo as a psychology professional, hindi iba-iba yung sinasabi. So yun lang, and then siguro request for more forum like this so that we can really like talk about the concerns and how we can better our profession in terms of the standards sa the academic standards, the research standard, and even in the clinical practice. Okay. Thank you, Ver, and thank you, Monique.
Thank you, Dr. Ring.
Thank you, Dr. Ring. Maraming salamat. Magpagaling ka at huwag ka munang umalis. Daling ka muna namin sa backstage. Para lumaki yung video ni ano. Ayan, okay. Doc Claudette, any last words po?
Ako, I would like to thank also the PAP, Special Teaching Division, no, and also for giving us the opportunity to present, especially for, I know that there are concerns regarding CHED CMO number 15. That's why we're here to really, bridge the gap and hear your side and help us consolidate all the messages that we would get from this activity, and you can help us, no, by writing to CHED, or you'll send it to me, to us through the technical committee, and I'll be the one to give it to CHED so that our proposed CMO also would be heard by the Commission on Higher Education. And I would like to thank Karing, si Pichi, si Dr. Miriam for all the insights in our CHED Technical Committee. Honestly, kahit pandemic, no, ang dami rin namin ginagawa kahit with the equivalency and others. We're here always to upgrade our psychology profession and the curriculum in our country for the psychology profession. Thank you.
Alright. Maraming salamat, Doc Claudette. Dadalhin muna natin siya sa backstage at dadalhin ko yung aking partner on stage para to formally close this program. Monique, ang dami nating natutunan today, no, about what are the challenges for our field, lalo na sa teaching, being a student, and the universities as well. At gusto nating magpasalamat sa ating mga manonood ngayon. Maraming salamat for joining us this afternoon, for learning more about us, and I hope that we can still count on your support in the next coming days and years, no? Invite natin sila sa ating mga social media accounts.
Yes, you can subscribe and like our Facebook page, Teaching Psychology in Facebook. And then we have as well an account on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, some of you are in YouTube already. Tell your friends to like and follow our YouTube channel. And most recently, we have our Spotify. We will try to convert this later on, di ba, Doc Ver, so that they can listen to this discussion in their own time. So don't worry if some of you did not catch up. You can visit our live stream. It will be there in our YouTube channel and of course in our Facebook page.
Yes. At again, bongga na tayo, may Spotify na tayo. Soon, you will find us on Netflix and Kumu. So maraming salamat, everybody. Ingat po, please stay safe, and we hope to see you again very, very soon.
Thank you for participating. Maraming salamat. Bye.
Bye.